The night the sky opened and called my name, I was taking out the trash behind a rusted apartment block, thinking about how quiet my life had become. The air rippled like heat over asphalt. Stars bent inward. Then a shadow, vast and impossible, slid across the moon. Alarms didn't sound. Birds didn't flee. The universe simply held its breath. And a voice, calm and impossibly old, spoke my name as if it had always known it. Elias Mercer. That should have been the end of me. But it was only the beginning. Years earlier, when Earth still pretended it was alone, I had been a dockworker in Port Harlow, the kind of coastal city the world forgot. My hands were scarred, my back bent, my future small. Then one winter night, during a power blackout, I found two girls hiding under a collapsed pier, clutching each other like shipwreck survivors. They weren't human. Not fully. Their eyes reflected light wrong, like twin stars trapped behind glass. Their skin shimmered faintly, bruised and burned. Someone had hunted them. Someone powerful. I remember thinking I should run. Instead, I took off my coat and wrapped it around them. That decision would echo across the stars. I hid them in my apartment, fed them soup, and listened to their halting words as they learned my language in days instead of years. They called themselves Lyra and Nessa. Sisters though not by blood. Orphans of a fallen house. They never said which world they came from, only that Earth was quiet enough to disappear into. But secrets have gravity. They pull. Government drones swept the city a week later. Black vans. Men without insignias. I knew the look of a purge when I saw one. I smuggled the girls out through the old storm tunnels beneath Port Harlow, my heart pounding as searchlights cut through rain. At the tunnel's end, a ship waited, small, sleek, bleeding light from a cracked hull. Lyra took my hand. Nessa hugged me so tight it hurt. "We will remember," Lyra said, her voice steady despite the tears. "We are bound by debt and honor." I laughed then, because it felt too big for someone like me. "Just live," I told them. "That's payment enough." They left in a roar of light, and my life snapped back into place like nothing had happened. Or so I thought. The years passed. Earth changed. We learned we were not alone, but we were late to the party. Alien trade routes skirted our solar system. Embassies opened and closed. Humanity was tolerated. Barely. I watched from the sidelines, working longer hours, growing older, carrying the memory of two star-eyed girls like a secret ember. Until the night the sky screamed my name. The royal vessel descended without fire or thunder, unfolding like a silver cathedral above the city. Streets emptied. Knees hit pavement. The ship's hull bore sigils that made my vision blur. Symbols my mind didn't know but my bones recognized. A beam of light found me. Neighbors stared as gravity loosened its grip and I rose, trash bag forgotten, heart hammering like it wanted out. I wanted to run. I wanted to scream. Instead, I whispered the only names that mattered. Lyra. Nessa. Inside the ship, the air smelled like rain and ozone. The walls pulsed softly, alive. And there, standing beneath a canopy of living light, were the two girls I had saved. They were girls no longer. Lyra wore robes woven from starlight, her presence bending the room around her. Nessa stood at her side in ceremonial armor, eyes sharp, posture regal. They looked powerful, dangerous. And when they saw me, their composure cracked. They ran. They embraced me like daughters, like sisters, like something older and deeper. I felt small, unworthy, and impossibly proud all at once. But the joy was short-lived. Behind them, an alien council watched with cold interest. "Elias Mercer," Lyra said, voice carrying authority now. "By ancient law, you are summoned." Summoned. Not invited. That was when I learned the truth. Their world, Aurelian, was not just another alien civilization. It was an empire, ancient and ruthless, ruled by bloodlines and debts older than human history. Lyra and Nessa were the last of House Kale, betrayed and hunted after refusing to sanction a planetary purge. Their parents executed. Their home burned. And I, an insignificant human dockworker, had interfered with imperial justice. The council argued in a language that felt like knives. Some wanted me executed for harboring fugitives. Others wanted to study me. One suggested erasing Earth as a precaution. Then Lyra raised her hand. "He is under my protection," she said. "By right of ascension." The room went silent. Nessa turned to me, eyes fierce. "Sister," she warned softly. But Lyra didn't look away. "House Kale lives because of him. Our debt is not symbolic. It is absolute." That was the midpoint where everything tilted. I hadn't just helped 2 orphans. I had altered the balance of an empire. They offered me a choice. Return to Earth, memories altered, life restored. Or come with them to Aurelian as a protected bound. An honored relic, a living symbol of compassion in a civilization that had forgotten the word. I chose to stay. Aurelian was a world of impossible beauty and quiet terror. Cities floated above crystal seas. Technology felt like magic. But beneath it all was fear. Fear of weakness, of mercy. I walked halls where my footsteps echoed alone, watched by beings who saw humans as brief curiosities. And yet, Lyra visited me every day. She spoke of reform. Of ending the purges. Of using her reclaimed throne to change everything. But power has a price. The council demanded proof that compassion was not a flaw. They demanded a test. A rebel world had defied Aurelian. Protocol required annihilation. Lyra hesitated. The council turned to me. "Advise your savior," one of them hissed. "Is mercy worth an empire's stability?" I saw it then, the trap. If I urged mercy, billions might die later in endless wars. If I urged destruction, I would become the monster I had refused to be. I thought of 2 girls under a broken pier, shaking with fear. "Give them a chance," I said. "Talk before you burn." The council laughed. But Lyra listened. She gambled everything. The talks were a disaster. Sabotage. Assassination attempts. Nessa nearly died shielding Lyra from a plasma blade. The council moved to depose her. Civil war loomed. I was placed under guard, blamed for weakening the throne. In the darkness of my cell, I finally broke. I was just a man. What had I done? Then Nessa came. Bloodied. Furious. Alive. "They're coming for her," she said. "And for you. The council fears what you represent." "What do I represent?" I asked. She looked at me like the answer was obvious. Proof that we could have been better. The final confrontation came at dawn beneath Aurelian's twin suns. The council gathered. Fleets armed. Lyra stood alone before them, until I stepped beside her. I expected to die. Instead, something ancient awakened. Aurelian's laws responded not to blood, but to bond. The Empire's core intelligence, a relic older than the stars, recognized the debt I had earned. Not through conquest. Through compassion. By saving 2 orphaned girls, I had bound House Kale to a higher authority. The core spoke. Debt acknowledged. Mercy validated. The council fell silent as their power dissolved. Fleets stood down. The purge was cancelled. History shifted. Lyra wept openly, crown blazing with light. Nessa laughed through tears, gripping my arm like she used to when she was afraid. In the aftermath, I was offered everything. Titles, worlds, immortality through augmentation. I refused. I asked only one thing. "Let me go home," I said. "Let Earth be safe." They honored that too. The royal ship returned me to Port Harlow years later, untouched by time. The city was the same. Rusted. Loud. Alive. Lyra and Nessa watched from the ship's threshold, eyes shining. "You will always have a place among the stars," Lyra said. I smiled. "I already had one," I replied. Under a broken pier. The ship vanished into light. Sometimes at night, I look up and swear the stars bend just a little, as if remembering. Because the universe doesn't always change from wars or kings. Sometimes, it changes because one tired man chose to help 2 scared girls. And somewhere out there, an empire will never forget his name.